Like my question is like, for example, when you see someone as a new entity, as a new face, you get like attracted or you fascinated towards the personality trait, and maybe it matches your liking and disliking. Sometimes it doesn't go like too far, or it doesn't come, means it doesn't come to you. You don't go too far to hold that. So, but you still have got underlying emotions that always you keep thinking about that thing. But it disturbs you what you're doing in your normal routine, like, you know what I mean?
Okay, so what is the question about that?
So how can we balance that?
What you're saying, be more specific.
Should I be more specific?
Yes. So like what do you mean when you say balance? What are you balancing?
Balancing my workload. Let's say, what should I say? Balancing, like, for example, if I come across through people, like, especially at my workplace, or maybe in public, or if I meet some stranger, and I start talking, getting into friendship and blah blah blah, then I start getting fascinated by, their traits, right? So then obviously I feel like, yeah, I like that person, and that's going along with that. But then I start dreaming, making some greeny, imaginations. Then I don't know how to explain that. So then sometime it never happens, but I keep imagining the things, and then I feel, oh, forget about that. It's wasting of time. But by the time you're thinking that it is not, it does not let you to start focusing on your work. Do you know what I mean?
So your question is how to focus on your work instead of focusing on the relationship?
I'm not sure.
Okay, so first, let's clarify what you mean when you say it doesn't go anywhere. So are you talking about relationships where this relationship ends and you no longer see this person, or where you are seeing the person but not in the way that you want to?
Yeah, the second one.
Okay, so they are still in your life then.
Life with me is just come across through, say hello, good morning,
Okay.
but do not get much intimidated.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not talking about boys. I'm just talking about the girlish, the male and female stuff. I don't have any interest in boys.
Okay, so do these thoughts come up more often when you see them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not thoughts, like, maybe it's my personality trait. I don't know.
Your personality trait?
Yeah, like being Scorpio.
Oh, that you get fixated?
Is it called fixated?
I don't know. I'm using a word.
What does
What
that
word
mean?
would you use?
What's what does
What
that
word
mean?
would you use? What word would you use?
What is called fixated?
I just threw that word out there.
What's the meaning of that word? Getting attracted to?
It's, can I spell it right? That's funny. Psychoanalysis definition is arrested in emotional or sexual developments.
Oh my god.
Directed in one place. That's the main. It means you're focused. It's like a heightened focus, but the actual definition is held in one place.
Mm. Okay. Fixated, right?
Yeah. So like a synonym could be captivated, it says.
Yes. F-I-X. I'll use this word. F-I-X. Fixated.
Ated, yes.
Asted.
Fixation. Wait, no, that's Asian. That's fixation.
Fixated.
Ated. TED.
Yeah. It looks like you're teaching me like a prep teacher. Yeah.
Really? It wants to end in 10 minutes because, of course, it does.
Oh, is that too quick?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't go for an hour anymore. It goes for 40 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
So.
But that's okay. And one thing more I want to add, like I was telling you, like on that day that whatever we discussed last time, and I tried to use that, and it worked because, as I told you before, I was overwhelmed looking to the properties and going through which, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I should go for this, because it was not coming to me, and I was trying to grab that, but then I just remember what you said, like, because you said that if you stop overwhelming, and if you stop your frustration and put it on your underlying emotion that you still need it, but you're not running for it. So because, as you said, give an example last time that you were not running for the money, but now you are generating good without having more struggling thoughts and emotions for the money to generate and how to generate, because it was not mentally struggle, but money actually starts coming to you. It's like abundance, right? So then when I realized that you said that, then I immediately like stopped it. I didn't think about what property should I go, what property should I follow, what should I talk about. I just left it because there was so many properties. I just saw like a 50 properties in my head, and I was sleeping. I was not well. In my dream, only the properties were coming. Right? And when I woke up, I couldn't sleep all night because all images, all the blocks, people. Now I stopped it. Is that a good way, do you reckon?
Yeah, well, you need to try to stop. That's what I was trying to say. Try to stop the thoughts, because for one thing, like I pointed this out previously to you. Okay, so if you are thinking about all of these properties, but you're trying to go to sleep, right? What are you getting from having those thoughts in that moment? Nothing, because you're not making a decision. All you're doing is taking away your sleep. So feeding into those thoughts are not benefiting you right then at all.
Yeah.
And as just an overarching thing, I know I kept putting it as like take a step back, which is correct, but more too is just having a stance of neutrality with things. So be grateful when you have things that go your way, but you have to have more of a neutral reaction to things that aren't going your way. So if you're overwhelmed with the properties, you can stop looking at it, but don't let it affect you so much to where you're being like, oh, I have to make this decision. I need to look at all of these. Why are there so many? Like, take a step back from it and say, okay. And, you can try to justify and speak back to the thoughts that are coming up. You can do that to allow yourself to be more neutral. So if it comes up and you say, well, there's so many, I can't go through all of these. Well, your response could be, well, I'm going to go through a couple. And that's what I'm going to do. That way you have more of a justification for having more of a neutrality to it.
But like, for example, there is something and you are calling that person because you like that, and this is not picking up the call, and you keep going, and it's not coming in your way, then you feel a little bit down that, oh my God, this is not happening. So what should I do in that way? Like, how can I, because if there is a 50 bunch of properties and I only select 5, right? Because I'm like very specific about choosing, because for example, the one thing I do not choose is south and west direction.
Okay.
So I only choose like east and north, just because of some astrology sort of things and directional, scientific reasons behind it. And it worked. Yeah, it worked. So like, it's have you heard about feng shui?
Yes.
So it's a little feng shui and Chinese sort of traditional guide. And I think you must be like, your sister must be knowing that. For example, you're doing some official work, it is always advisable to have your facing towards east or northeast, right? And it gave me a really huge impact. Like 10 years back, 15 years back, when I was working in India, I used to have an office somewhere, and one of my friend came in and she told me, like, the back wall, like, for example, you're sitting and your back wall is yellow or creamish, and she came and she suddenly told me, why don't you paint this wall to fluorescent yellow color, like this color, this color, this one.
Okay.
Right? And I said, what's the benefit of it? They said, oh, you just do it and just tell me what's the benefit. And I did that. I just only painted that like a feature wall. I just did the feature wall into that orange color, but I didn't change my sitting. And suddenly what I saw, suddenly the business grew up, started getting more client, more people, just changing the color. And means I did not like pay attention. I didn't believe that. I said forget about it, but just change the color. That's it. Because I'm not thinking much more, because I thought how it can happen.
Was this the wall that you were looking at? Like
Sorry?
that you were facing?
Yeah, facing
Okay.
plus the background as well. The background. Because like the vibrant colors like the orange, the red are, I think, the more prosperity colors. So that's
And
what
you were doing video meetings so that people were seeing the color behind you?
yeah, at the time that was not the work. It was a different sort of work. It was like
Okay.
more into coaching and training part, like so. But the client were they used to come and they used to inquire about my product, and I used to tell them this is the product of IT product, and this is this. So I was getting less struggle to sign them up. But earlier I had to convince them more.
But I'm just saying they were seeing the color.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I was not seeing the color.
Yeah. So it was influencing them, and that's why it was easier for you.
Actually, then I started believing these things. That's why I just mentioned that. So I only select like north, east, and I have already set up my computer at home and everything towards a little bit like north side, facing east side facing. And when I talk to clients, I always face towards east and talking to them. So I don't know, like maybe it has gone deeply into my subconscious, but there is no direction on this planet, because it's Earth is spinning. It's only.
I mean, that's true, but there's still direction.
Yeah, it's about your convenience. It's only about our convenience. But there is no east, west, north, south. There's nothing. If you look at from the whole universe perspective, universe doesn't say Earth is towards north or south. No. Earth, they don't know where the Earth is. Right? So, yeah. That's what I was just thinking. But anyways, this is one of the thing which I wanted to tell you. So I'm very specific of that. And when I don't get it, I'm that particular, then I feel, oh my God. So then what you have said is, so then I should be leaving that aside, and I should.
Well, the real thing is that you need to deal with what's beneath that. Why does it bother you that you didn't get what you wanted?
Because others are getting it.
But why does it bother you that others are getting it?
I don't have an answer. Why? Can you tell me why? Why does it bother me?
You have no idea why?
Because I am having more expectation.
Why do you want it?
Just to live and to get it more expanded and to have why? I don't know. So because obviously I feel like I've got a money and I want to spend it in a right direction, and maybe down the track it'll be more good in the market, and I can sell it and I can have more money.
Okay, so you're talking about your house.
Yeah.
About getting a house that is exactly how you want it.
Yeah, I probably don't want to live there, but maybe just like investment.
Okay.
Yeah. I could be living, but I could be selling as well down the track.
Okay. But you're still in the process of dealing with this, right? So you're not at the place of having it, but not, you're not at the place of not having what it is that you wanted yet.
Sorry, can you say it again? I didn't get it.
Because I'm talking about, well, you were talking about not getting what you wanted. And you're still in the process of getting a property. So you're not at a place of not having what you wanted.
No.
Yet.
No.
So are you wanting to talk about the property, or are you wanting to talk about not getting what you wanted?
Oh, okay. Not, yeah, that's the second one.
Okay. So think of an example of when you didn't get what you wanted.
Should I give you an example?
Yeah, think of an example.
Yeah, I've thought of example. And now in that example, the relationship part also can fit in that.
Okay.
That's a good thing. So you have given me a question in which two problems can fit. That's a very smart question. Thank you for asking. You're very deep, Adriana. Very deep. You should have gone somewhere. New York, 21st floor building, office.
I want to be in New York.
I'm just guessing. Your expansion. I'm just imagining your expansion. You must have like a limousine, a BMW, a Mercedes.
No.
Chauffeur-driven car.
Even if I had the money for that, I wouldn't.
Okay, you'll drive yourself?
Well, yeah, but I probably wouldn't go anywhere. And actually, I'd take the bus if I could.
Wow. Great. You're a real human. Must buy in Hollywood. So yeah, that's the second one is a question.
Okay, so you have your example. So are you wanting to, I was going to say explain this more, but obviously you're talking about a relationship. But do you want to explain that further, or you just want to answer specific questions?
Related with the relationship one.
Yeah, like what were you feeling about this relationship, and why did you not get it, and what did you feel when you didn't get it?
Well, there are so many examples, like, it's not one example. Obviously,
But I said think of one example.
It's been so many years back. That was one example. The relationship one I'm just talking. So it was a girl who was working with me, and we were very good friends, and it was a working place. I was having a business back in India. I'm talking about maybe 15 years back.
Okay.
So we're working together for nearly 5 years together. So I think I was attracted more to having more on terms of relationship, but she was just only in the circle of friendship, I think. So she did not go more than what I was expecting. I don't know for why. I tried to explore, but she never answered. So then after 5 years, she got married. And that's the end of the story. but I was, I think, captivated or fixated too much on her trait, because we were like all discussing, talking over the phone, texting, but she, I think, put a boundary not to go beyond not to go beyond this. But I slowly dragged into that green love affair. I was more captivated.
So did you specifically ask her to be in a relationship with you and she turned you down?
Not really.
Okay.
Sorry, but I imagined and guessed it. Because obviously when I means it's not about always a question. It's always like when you try to do something indirectly and you get a negative response. Like, for example, if I ask her, like, let's go to dinner tonight, and she rejected that. She said, no, I don't want to go to dinner. That's why she said, no. Maybe, I don't know.
So you took her turning you down. I was going to say rejecting you, but that's not really what I mean when I say so turning down invitations. You took that personally.
Yeah, because I was expecting more. I think I was having this more infatuation or imagination in my mind, visualization to have her on a maybe romantic date night.
Did you ever spend time with her outside of work or not?
With her, yes, a little bit.
Okay.
Sometime like a coffee or like
Did
a
she
talk.
ever initiate that?
No.
Okay.
Very conservative. Like she was very traditional, old school. And you won't believe I never even touched her.
But so, okay, you took it personal, but was there any, she did go out with you sometimes. What reasoning did you have to take it personally?
What reason?
Yes.
Sorry, can you ask your question?
To take her turning down your invitations personally rather than some other reason. So, like, for example, if you asked her out for dinner, you said tonight, and she says no. Did you try saying, well, what about another time, or would another time work for you?
I did, yeah.
Okay. And then she still said no?
Yep.
Okay.
Because she knew that I would like, because she knew my steps that I'm going to initiate more personal, involvement.
Okay. But she never actually said to you straight out that she didn't want that or didn't.
No.
Okay.
No. That's very confusing, isn't it?
Okay. So what did you do? Did you just stop asking her eventually?
No, I just kept going. I kept going my indirect moves. Like, for example, let's say, okay, because then I took some excuses, like I made some stories that I said, okay, we are going for coffee outside because it's our business requirement. All right. So let's go for coffee. Okay. But though it was my personal motive, so I turned that object into business. So I tagged as a business. And
that was when she went out with you?
Yep.
Okay.
So I did play smartly, Then if I would have tell her like it's a business requirement to have a dinner, but business doesn't have a requirement of a romantic dinner.
Mm-hmm. So what specifically were you keep saying traits, but like what trait about her were you liking?
A lot. Very like a simple and good talk, and just understanding of what I said, like, and everything, you know. And she was like looking after the business as well.
Mm-hmm.
So very much like making me independent of thinking about something else out of the box. And few other things, which is like, of course, she was bit of my, I would say, taste, right? I should not say this word taste, but and it means like of my liking. So
Mm-hmm.
like she was gorgeous and very simple, was not talking to too much with other like strangers, sort of thing. But like, back in my country, it's a bit of odd things, even these days, that some of the, especially girls, do not open up too much. So they are like, they go for what we call, they don't go for like this love relationship and all the stuff. They just straight away grow up and go for the arranged marriages.
Mm-hmm.
So she was sort of that trait. But I was consumed by her trait. And I was
But
thinking,
why were you consumed by her traits?
because of opposite like a pull. It's
What
always
were you getting from being in her presence that you were not getting when you were not in her presence?
a smoothness, a pleasure of talk, emotional sort of what I was getting. I was mesmerized.
Mm-hmm. Did you have anywhere else that you were getting these traits, though, in your life?
Well, never, no. I think 2 or 3 times before and after that, not 2 or 3 times, 1 or 2 times before or after that. But when she was like around in that circle or in that box, then I was just only thinking about her,
Mm-hmm.
not anyone else.
Are you still looking for these traits now?
More or less, yes.
Are you getting these traits from anything right now?
No.
What can you do to get these traits right now?
I should approach someone.
But how can you get this without it being a relationship?
Yeah. But I'm always like scared and very afraid of asking open question. I'm asking Adriana, you, like, for example, is that a good thing if you like someone and you're attracted? Even I didn't say to her that I like her. So, and I just try to show her from different angles indirectly that I started liking her. So, yeah. So, is it a good thing to have a specific approach? Means to the point approach, spot on approach.
You're asking, is it a good thing to confess, or is it a good thing to
Not confess to, like, for
or
example, if I start liking someone, then I can tell her straight away.
yeah, you're saying should you tell them straight away?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I think that you would have to read the situation and decide what the outcome might be of that. So if you are debating telling someone that maybe you don't know very well, and you tell them, if they don't return the feelings, then you might not see them again. But if you're in a situation like you were in, where you're going to keep seeing her anyways, then even if she didn't return your feelings, you'd still get to see her. But then you have to also think about what that, might be like. If she doesn't return the feelings, how is she going to react? Is she going to then feel awkward around you? Is she going to close herself off? Or is she going to move past it and you act like nothing happened? You know what I mean? So you kind of have to gauge how you think that the person's going to react and what it is that you're willing to lose versus what you would gain.
Very good answer. And that's what I exactly gauge that if I just ask this question, and maybe if I've got 4 choices, she can choose number 1, number 2, because 2-3 options I 100% confirm that she will not pick. She will not say yes. Number 1 for sure. Number 2, even she will not say, oh, I'll think of it. No. Number 3, she won't delay the decision, right? So technically I was just confirmed. She won't say even, she won't even say no, but she'll be silent. So silence is more killing, right? Then not saying no. So because I'm like, oh my God. And when she was, and I knew that her step would be taking things back from even like what I was labeling as a business coffee, day, as a personal coffee day, right? So maybe I would have missed the chance to go on that small coffee date as well. You know what I mean? So I was stealing a pleasure from little things to be with her. You know what I mean? I was very smart.
So with that, it becomes kind of more, what are you willing to risk, bet? It's kind of like gambling, right? If you're playing, you're putting a higher stakes if you are more direct, but you risk losing everything right away. But then you might also win big. But if you go the other route, then they may never understand. You may get nowhere. You may not come to an answer, but you have less to lose doing it that way.
Yeah, but less to lose was at the time the business side of thing. but the
Mhm.
more to lose was emotional side of thing, that I might be isolated, because she actually put herself into a container, like, container, and a glass container, that she
Okay.
see me, they see me outside of the glass, but she, even if I go away, it doesn't affect her. But if she goes away, it affects me. So technically I was under that field for few years. You know what I mean? So I don't know, like, maybe it was one-sided, I think. I try to so that's very hard, that's very hard. So especially when you start pouring things, I used to go to her place as well to meet her parents, and talk to them, making a good relationship. And she
Mhm.
used to like it. And we one day, like, I drove her to away from our city, like, for just having a lunch, and she came with me. So it was a beautiful day, and I drove her back. So we had a good talk, laugh, came back. So, but she was always, she was not actually giving me space to come closer.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? So she was not letting me to open up more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I couldn't even, I didn't even, you won't believe, like, I did not even touch her hand. Even I didn't shake her hand.
Mhm.
Oh
Okay.
my God, if it feels me like she was electrocuted. Oh God, this is look like uh it's like a fairy tale stories. But it doesn't happen these days, right? Especially in Australia and US, doesn't it? Oh, because people these days, oh, you come to my place, have beer, have fun, just go, isn't it? Yeah,
People are like that.
yeah, people are like that. They don't understand what. So yeah, I was thinking, oh my God, it's a different, very different world. Mm,
That's a different conversation.
yeah,
So we are already like an hour. So
yep,
but like I would want to ask you to go into another example, but that would probably take a while.
yeah, definitely. We'll
So
continue next time.
I'm not trying to just throw this out of saying this is true because I have no basis for this, but would you say that there's any pattern between that relationship and others that you've had?
Sort of similar pattern. So other relations means I didn't have like much relations. I couldn't say like I've got how many? 73 relations. Oh no, 84. No, I can't say like this because I don't have like much. But just, it's not saying relationship, it's saying infatuations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, attraction,
Mm-hmm.
or captivating, or you said
This off
fix.
in 10 minutes again.
It's okay. 10 minutes is more to me. Fixated. It's fixated. So did you understand what I said before? Did you go through like what I explained the whole story?
Yes, I think so. So what I'm trying to figure out is where your mentality is with your infatuations, which is why I want to know if there is a pattern and what that pattern is.
Pattern. So pattern, if you ask me pattern, what do you mean by pattern? Like my action?
Pattern. Like
Yeah,
where it's
pattern.
repeating.
Yeah. Repeating pattern were, going again and again, thinking about the same thing, you know?
Yes, but what similarities are there between your infatuations? What is the same about the girls that you are being infatuated with, and what is the same about how you acted towards them and how they acted towards you? Is that not clear?
I'm a little lost. Oh my God, this is very deep.
Okay. So before I had talked to you about me having a pattern with jobs. So with my pattern was that I was getting into jobs where I had to do a lot of work and cover for other people. But then I still felt like I wasn't doing enough and that I could never do enough and I wasn't appreciated and not earning enough money. And I was literally depressed and would come home crying over that. So that was my pattern. Does that make it a little clearer? What?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So can you repeat this question again to me, what you asked
So
me?
what pattern is there between these infatuations?
So
what are the similarities and what are the same actions that you take?
Okay, right. Can I describe that actions?
Yes, we have 7 minutes.
7 minutes to explain my one-sided love story. It took me 5 years. Not exactly, but I don't know. So it was just going to her, approaching her indirectly, asking like, what you would like to have today and what you're doing work. Means I'm just going through the business angle, but slowly with the business angle I was just involved in person and started asking him some personal questions and diverted her attention from business to personal, right? And then closing back to the business again, right?
Okay.
Like opening was business, then between that all, because the motive was obviously, because it was a bit underlying, my underlying pattern was more into personal than the business. So technically the approach was, because the obviously the approach was a business labeled, but the questioning that I normally used to ask was more having, like, for example, I was trying to get the answer of all of my questions through the business indirect way. Do you know what I mean? So I was using that pattern again and again, like, because obviously if I ask you a question directly and you're not answering me, so obviously I need to approach in a different way to get that answered. So I was using the business angle. Like, for example, we have got a meeting with 2 clients tomorrow and they are not having to come here at 11 o'clock, so we would like to go outside at that restaurant. So would you like to come with me? And you can talk to this and I can talk to that. I said, yep, I can help you. Right? So technically the clients were coming at 12, but I took her at 11.
Okay.
So, do you know what I mean? So 1 hour space.
So were these all business relationships?
Yes, I would say yes. But see, my side of thing was thinking about my own green visualization, you know, imagination, magnified, you know, going here, doing this, coming back, you know, staying in a one basket together, right? And just like, you know, Hollywood sort of, a Bollywood, you know what I mean.
Do you think that in any of these, though, it might have been the fact that it was a business relationship that...
It could be, you're right.
Yes.
But I try to even separate that from the business, that bracket to the business to the personal. But I said, okay, let's separate this. This is something else, but let's do this activity outside of the business.
So we have less than 3 minutes now, so we can't really delve into that, but I feel like that's what we should be doing until next time.
Thank you very much for this conversation before I leave, before it cuts off. It really was a very powerful, deep, and energized conversation. I'm sorry for mine.
We actually focused in on something.
Yeah, you got me there.
Oh, that's okay. We focused on your parents as well, so let me not push that aside.